एक जमाना था चारू when the job seekers were at the receiving end and the people who were the employees were at the givers end. The world has changed. Trust me,
Yeah.
the world has changed. You pay the salary on 7th for these people, 200, 300 or maybe 500 people even, is a very big task. Want them to be paid on last you earn 1 lakh rupees a month and somebody deducts 10,000 rupees from there, 10% na? So अगर 10,000 वाले का 1,000 कट गया, 10% salary कट गई, you would.
First of all, I'd like to ask how's the morning going? Means now it's noon though.
Morning has been not very bad, to be honest. It was all good. I just got stuck in something which was unplanned.
Okay.
So I kind of don't. I generally am an organized person, so something which comes unplanned, I try to fix it in between. But there are things which are beyond your control at times.
Yeah.
So otherwise, the morning has been pretty okay. It was all good.
Okay, that's pretty good. So let's start with your introduction about your background and how Altum came into foundation.
Background as in I basically where I come from, there is a place in UP called Allahabad, if you've heard about that.
Yes.
I come from there. I've done my schooling and all my studies and everything over there. Then I did my graduation, PG, and then I started my career actually in the financial sector. Right? I used to work for a very big brand in the financial sector, ICICI. I started my career from there. I worked over there for a while. Then somehow I was, I was looking for something else. Probably that thing. It's a very cliche statement, but that thing was not giving me enough kick in the life.
Yeah.
So from there, I shifted to something else. And then eventually I wanted to come out of that place. You can imagine that no matter how much you love your hometown, but if you have to make some progress, you have to get yourself to a bigger platform. Yeah. Now, the platform per se, when I say the platform, it simply does not mean a big brand or maybe a big, organization has to be big or something. But the place where you work, the people you are surrounded with, and the kind of the mind which are working in the nearby vicinity, that's what actually brings the change, and that helps you develop at a faster pace than being at a place where the things go very easy, right?
Okay.
Things going easy is, of course, a comfort level. There is a comfort level and so on and so forth. But there is a time I feel that we should know when is the time when you are good to go with your comfort zone, right? When I started my career, if I would have been in my comfort zone, I would have been there forever, right?
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I was continuously looking out for opportunities to come out of that place. And when I started my career, this digital India and all those things were not very, very I would say they were not at the place where they stand today, right?
Okay.
So what happened was that you're not from, let's say I was from a small town and Delhi is a metropolitan or Mumbai is a metropolitan and a big cities, they would not accept you, not because you come from there, because you don't have an exposure of this big city. You don't know people over here. You don't know the rasta. If you are getting into sales, you have to know the rasta. That time Google Maps were not there, right? So how will you travel? How will you go and meet the clients? And these apprehensions were always there. But somehow I got an opportunity to come to Delhi because I always had this logic that people from India go and work in abroad, right, for the first time, right? And they work at a relatively senior positions. Even if I worked 20 years in India and I moved to UK for that matter, I'll be a fresher in UK as an individual. I'll be a fresher. So fortunately, somebody bought this idea and agreed that this is true. I mean, if you don't give a chance, then how would you know? The endurance of the rubber is always tested when it hits the ground. You cannot just look at the tire and say, "Ye bahut chalega," ya "Ye bilkul nahi chalega," right? So I came to Delhi. I started working with a company called G4S, and over there, I kind of got a very keen interest in this large manpower-oriented workforce business. G4S happened to be at that point of time one of the biggest employers. It's a UK-based company. It's a Group 4 security. It's G4S, known as G4 Group 4 Security, but the name is G4S. Right? It was famous because earlier it has gone with very name changes over there. Now, from there, joined as sales, then headed the sales for the region for some time, then got into a P&L role. From there, I got into a full-fledged P&L role over there, right?
Okay.
And from there, I kind of always, I started understanding about myself that I am a people's man, right?
Okay.
I kind of empathize. I kind of relate to the problems of the people, and I would say, yeah, I can confidently say that I am good with people, right? So people's business is a very, it's a very challenging and a very
Yeah.
demanding business, right? Managing a product, managing a service, managing a technology is a different ball game. Managing people is an absolutely different ball game,
Yeah.
right? And in
Totally.
large, when I
Especially
say
when we are
large,
in India.
yeah, so and the demographic is, very widespread across
Yeah.
India. People are there. There are blue collar people, there are white collar people, there are gray collar people, as we call them. And all these people the people management dynamics changes with the change in the kind of work they are into,
Yeah.
right? So from there, I worked over there. Then after that, I joined another company, which was again into this manpower. And I've been associated with the manpower world for since the time I joined first back in 2010, late 2010. And from there, of course, as I said, it started from there. And then, of course, you keep on going out in the market, you meet the clients. There is a requirement of the clients are very demanding, whichever industry you talk about. Always the clients are very demanding. We as customers are very demanding. If I am a customer, let's say I have an X vehicle which I drive, right? So of course the salespeople will promise me stars. I don't want the stars. Maybe I know that he's slightly exaggerating, but if you have said this, I will probably hold you by your words, right?
Yeah.
Now, so the customers were demanding, and I was able to relate to the things that what customer is demanding is not actually, they are not being unreasonable, right? But I don't blame any company, I don't blame any organization, but when the machine is too big, any change to take place in that system is a very big task. People are not ready for that small change. Now I am a company which has, let's say, 10 lakh people working for me or 5 lakhs people working for me, and suddenly somebody says you manage the payroll cycle from 1st to 30th, but I want my P and you pay the salaries on 7th.
Yeah.
When let's say I'm a company, or I run a business which has 6 lakh people working over there across India or
Yeah.
across the whatever geography we are talking about, then suddenly some customer comes in and says, you pay the salary on 7th for these people, but I want the people who work for me in my company, deployed or employed by you, deployed at my place. I want them to be working or I want them to be paid on last working day of the month. Now, I cannot, with that amount of
Okay.
bandwidth, with that amount of people already engaged in this change for, let's say, 200, 300, or maybe 500 people even, is a very big task. And I'm not, like, how much will he give me, and things of that sort come into mind. And people were very reluctant to make these kind of customizations for the customers. But if I go back and sit on the chair of the customer, what he's demanding is not, like, he's not asking for something which is unreasonable. He wants his people to be paid on time. What is the problem in that? Now, but the big machines were not ready to do that. Some customer wants to be paid on 7th, they have their own logic. Somebody wants to pay on 1st, they have their own logic. Somebody wants to pay on last working day, okay, fine, they have their own logic. And somebody wants, let's say there is a festival, somebody wants to pay on 16th of any month. In a big company, it is very difficult to make these kind of alterations and modifications, and like just like that, changing anything, any process change is a big demand and big ask from the organization.
Yeah.
So I always felt there is a need in the market, there is a demand in the market, and if you are able to cater to that, there is enough piece still left on the table for you to go and grab it on your own. So from there, this idea of setting something up on my own started.
Okay.
So, but like, when I was thinking that I would be starting, it takes a hell lot of courage. You are in a comfortable job. You are, like, you're paid well. You have, you are living a very, like, of course, a pressure is always there in corporate world, but you're living a comfortable life, right?
Yeah.
Why do you want to come out of the comfort zone?
Yeah.
But I give this credit, of course, to two people.
Okay.
One, of course, my mentor and my partner. So my partner, who's currently, there are two partners in the company which we run, and between both of us, he is the senior member, right? And he has been my mentor since the day I have been associated with him. It is almost 15 years now, more than a decade, more than 15 years, I would say. And he has always been there, and he is actually the main guy who said, come on, we'll do it. Don't worry. So he said, it gives you a hell lot of courage if somebody comes and tells
Yeah.
you, don't panic, I'm just standing back. Whether he
Yeah.
is doing something, he's not doing something, he will do something, he will not do something, doesn't make a difference. The real difference is that somebody's there,
Yeah.
right? Somebody is standing over there. Okay. So this was the first thing which gave me the courage to say that, okay, yes, we will do this. I always
Okay.
wanted to do it, but I was not able to gather the courage. If this doesn't work, how am I going to do that? And like akele itna sab kuch karna. To be honest, I was not that. My age was not in that. I was recently married. I had a young kid, and thinking about all those things were a very big challenge. So he is the first
Yeah.
guy. Number two, I would say my family, which is like my mom, my wife, my younger brother, my sister, everybody in the family. When I went back to them, because this decision was primarily not going to affect just me. This decision was to affect the most importantly, it was going to affect my life partner, my wife. So
Yeah.
she was going to be affected by that, because if we agreed that because the kid is young, she's going to take care of the kid, because she was not of the
Yeah.
view that we will have this. I will take care of the kid. So if we had agreed, then my job and her job is clearly divided and like demarcated. This is what I'm going to do, and this is your responsibility. By
Totally.
doing this, I was going to bring this, like put this. Probably, if this doesn't work, the life would go for a toss, not just for me, but everybody. But
Yeah.
everybody in the family, my mom, my wife, my people, and everybody. My wife said just one thing I remember, that if you want to do this, this is the time. If the time goes, you will never be able to do it. If you want to
Yeah.
do it, this is the time. Now, this gives you, I would say, a hell lot of courage, right? This gives you a hell lot of motivation that, oh yeah, she's right. That if I don't do it now, I will be more dependent. My liability was increased. With the age, liabilities increase. It doesn't decrease.
Yeah.
Today you
Totally.
earn X, so your charge and everything you're responsible are assigned to align to that. Tomorrow you will earn double of that. Your dependencies,
Yeah.
your zimmedaris and everything will also
Also.
grow in that proportion, or slightly more than
Yeah.
in that proportion, I would say. Yeah. So from there, this started, and we started this company, Altum. And as I said, these two parts of my thing have always been very supportive,
Right.
and it kicked off well. We started off well. We got a very good client and the anchor business, and we were fully focused. We grew this business. It went from from we started at zero, and we were at roughly around 2,500 people in less than 6 months. But it was like we started and went off in 6 months to 2,000. But unfortunately, that company decided to the client we were working on. That client decided to uh, roll off or shut down the operations in India. Right?
Okay.
It was a very big mobile handset manufacturer. I don't want to name them at the moment, but they decided to move out of India because they were not able to compete with the other players who have come. That's what I feel. Maybe this is right or wrong. But eventually, we went up like this, and then again we came down like this in a span of 1 year, right? So I would say we were of the view that we have become successful, and in a wink of an eye, we were kind of looking at, oh my God, what now?
Yeah.
What next? But
Yeah.
this is how I think the businesses are made. Like there are unforeseen circumstances. We gathered ourselves together again. Like we got hold of things. We started working out. We had got some more clients, but they were relatively smaller. But we pushed ourselves really hard, and we again went back to market, and we started sourcing business. And yeah, we became stable again.
Yeah.
We were expanding. We invested heavily on expansion and this that. And by the time we were like we were fully invested in the business, and we were about to get into the market at a much bigger scale, until COVID happened.
Yeah.
Now
That.
with that thing, yeah, so now with that, the Charu, what happens is that this idea of, so you understand what is staffing, right? So this
Yeah.
is temp staffing, as we call in India. The temp staffing is, I don't know why they call it temp staffing, because this might be known as temp staffing, but the people who I employ and then deploy, they are not temporary for me. They are my
Yeah.
employees, right? So I mean, I don't know why we call it temp staffing, but yeah, that's the word. That is the word which is generally used for that. I always call it staffing. I never call it temp staffing. But the whole idea of doing all this is, of course, the compliance and the other things, and the employee management, well-being, everything is taken care by your staffing partner. But also you get as the principal employee, you get the flexibility of increasing or decreasing your manpower or manforce, depending on the requirement you have.
Requirement
Now
of
with COVID, everything is shut down. Field salespeople or the market is closed, the malls are closed, the stores are closed. Why would you need the salespeople? Because you're not able to operate out of that place. So the business again came down to the rock bottom. This time we were fully shattered. This time we were fully broke. We were fully shattered. What we did was that we didn't fire the people who were working directly with us. We didn't fire anybody. We paid them. We were of the view, because as I say, a good leader is or not the one who always thinks about the team just in the happy times, right? If I would have let them go, one thing I was sure of, that if I let them go, there is no job in the market. Nobody is hiring. Even, I mean, the kind of people we had, they were not being hired. Only the tech hirings were happening, and they were not tech people. So we didn't let them go, and we again came back to the like we were sitting at the ground again, fully grounded. Uh, Debts were increasing, and we were under immense pressure. We were panicking, but you know this is the beauty of the team, right? So my mentor, my partner Amit, as I call him Bhaiya at times, I call him Bade Saab at times. I call him with various names, and there is a reason, because he plays so many roles in my life. I don't know what to call him. So we always had this view. So at times I was panicking. He was there to resolve me, help me, tell me, give me some gyan, give me some understanding. At times he was in that situation. I don't know what is happening, Amir. I keep on telling you, but at times I also get this. But he, like with age and maturity, I think he's a more mature person. But at times he also got that kind of feeling. So then I was there for him. The team members who were there, the rest of the people working in our team, they were always have been very, very supportive. Right. So they were there. So don't panic. We are always there. We will build this business, and this will happen and that will happen. Thankfully, like before we completely were off, like we would have completely gone off the hook. Thankfully, God looked at us and said, probably Lady Luck smiled. And we again came back to business slowly with 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have again came back to the business. And we have learned from the things which has happened with us in our lives, that this is the mistake I made or we made. This is no, we don't have to repeat this, because this can be detrimental. We survived last time. We were in the ICU primarily, if you look at it. But like you can survive the ICU problems once in your lifetime, or maybe twice in your lifetime. But every time you just cannot come out healthy from there. So we came back, we started again, we did something new, we targeted the right kind of clients, and that's how this journey of Altum, like in a brief, as I've tried to explain, this is how the journey actually has rolled out for all of us.
Okay, nice. The journey is pretty interesting, from the ups and downs, means going on and still standing strong with your team members is really great. So I wanted to ask, means how the word Altum came, means is there a particular meaning behind it?
Yeah, altum is derived from a Latin word, if I'm not mistaken, which denotes height, like
Okay.
altitude, the height,
Altitude.
altitude. You understand.
Yeah.
So from there, the word Altum has been, we have thought about this name it came from there.
Okay.
And we always, for me or the entire team over here, the height does not mean that we have to have X amount of revenue, we have to have X amount of this, X amount of that. Height is something where you can have a comfortable view of the things you want to look at.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just not the numbers, right? It's about the people around you. It's about, of course, it is about the numbers also, and number plays a very important role. But it is not just about that, right? It is about the how much are how much are your clients happy with you? How much are your people happy with you? Or how are they, how they feel being associated with Altum, right? Altum happens to be my baby, right? So I have me and my partner. So this is our baby.
Yeah.
So for me, this will always be, aulad kaisi bhi hoti hai, it is always very dear to the parents, right?
Yeah.
But for the people around them, how are they liking this is the gig over here. वो कहते हैं ना, माँ बाप ने परवरिश कैसे करी अपने बच्चों की या अपने बच्चे की. So हमने Altum की परवरिश कैसे करी है, that is what is more important. That's what the reaching newer heights is all about.
And when it comes to staffing services, so Altum is only for, means what are the means what kind of clients you're having? Means, is it basically a
See,
domain nature wise?
no, not domain. So we do all kind of staffing, right? If you
Okay.
look at it, we do all kind of that. But if you ask me what is our area of expertise, or what kind of things do we actually focus upon, are primarily the roles which are revenue generating. Okay. So
Okay.
revenue generating is like, let's say, field salespeople, in-store promoters, brand promoters, merchandisers, and so on and so forth. They happen to be the major chunk of the business, or the people we have. If I let's say, if currently we have around 4,000 plus people, so out of that, more than 50-55% would come from that segment. Some way or the other, they are into revenue generating roles. And
Okay.
there is a logic why we focus on them. And we focus on them, always have been focusing on them earlier also, and we focus on this thing more after COVID, right? Because see, any organization, any of our clients, even if there is no revenue for them, there is no business for us, right? So they will also invest in revenue. We will also invest in revenue. That revenue increases. So revenue roles have been the
Hmm.
always have been the major chunk of the, if you have the pie chart in front of you about what all kind of people we have,
Yeah.
the majority would come from sales and revenue. Then of course there are back end,
Hmm.
there are people coming
Mhm.
from all other departments you can think of. But of course, they always are,
Yeah.
most of my clients, the people we employ and deploy, they are the people who are from the main core business domain of the client. So let's say if somebody is a
Okay.
background verification company, so we have the associates and the research analysts and so on and so forth, who are directly
Hmm.
doing the main core job of that business,
Okay.
right? And we generally speaking, we don't do the blue collar staffing. We
Okay.
start from gray collar and go up to white collar.
Okay. Got it. And what about your competitors? How do you think, means what makes Altum the means what is the USP that Altum has when it comes to the
See,
competitor?
competition is see, in the market, the competition is always there, right?
Um,
And if I say all my competitors are absolutely bad, so then I'm exaggerating, right? They cannot be
got
100% bad. They would have some good things. Some would be better than me in some aspect, better than us in some aspect. And of
Mhm.
course, where they're better than us, we try to improve ourselves without naming anyone. So as I said, one thing what sets us apart is, of course, we are fully customizable. When we were 100 people, we were customizable. Today, we are 4,000 plus people, we are customizable. If everything goes as per plan, tomorrow we will be like 50,000, 60,000, or even 1 lakh people. We still will be customizable, because that's what the idea was behind starting this company. And this is the USP we bring to the table. Whatever thing you want, whatever way you want, we will take care of that. The second thing is that most of the time you would have heard, or it is an unsaid truth, that people generally tend to believe that in the scheme of things in a corporate, how does it work? So people think we have to keep the promoters and the stakeholders happy. The employees, generally speaking, they
Yeah.
think, or the people who are managing, promoters and stakeholders should be very
Hmm.
happy. Okay, and then the customers should be very happy, because that's the real, the marker or the mark of success, or like कि आप अच्छा काम कर रहे हो, ये अगर customer आपके happy है, so this is
Hmm.
a important mark. And then maybe employees should be happy. Employees should also be happy. Me and my partner both, I've learned this from him, that the real thing is that our motto, if you like it that way, maybe this is our motto, that we believe in happy employees, happy customers, and happy stakeholders, in that order, right?
Okay.
Order will not change.
Yeah.
So, and how does it work, Charu, is that, if think about it, if my employees are happy,
Yeah. Okay.
their job is to keep my customers happy, right? If I
Exactly.
am happy,
Yeah.
I will keep my people around me happy, right? Because I am very happy with the kind of environment, kind of treatment, kind of money, kind of everything I'm getting over here. Okay, fine. So then my job, I have to justify my job, and my job is to keep my clients happy.
Hmm.
Now, name one single promoter, shareholder, or anybody who's who's invested in some company, who
Hmm.
will say, my clients are happy, my
Mhm.
customers are also happy, but I am not happy. It cannot
Hmm.
happen. If
Yeah.
my clients are
Totally.
happy, my employees are happy, my clients are happy, there is no reason for a promoter or a shareholder to be unhappy,
Right.
right? Because both of them are happy. If both of them are happy, you will make money. The promoters and the shareholders,
Yeah.
as we always say,
This is
we have to make some money out of this business. This is not charity. This is not social service. This is
Yeah.
business, and the main rule of the business is that you have to make money. If these two things are
Yeah.
sorted, I don't think anything can stop from that thing to happen. And that's what actually makes the real difference with us. I am not trying to brag about this or trying to boast about myself or my team members. Let's say I'm traveling to Bangalore. For an instance,
Okay.
I'm traveling to Bangalore, and there is a store of one of my clients where my people are deployed.
Mhm.
I never tell them that who am I. I never go and say, oh, you work in the same company, we work in the same company. I never do
Mhm.
that. I just go, maybe I'll buy something from them, or I will just go and have a pep talk with them or chit chat with them. How kitna milta hai, kaise milta hai, kya problem hai,
Mhm.
why is that not? Because that's the primary source of information you get. How are your people being treated in the market,
Yeah.
right? So they are employed with us, they are my employee, but they are most of the time managed by the client's side. So they have their own line managers and so on and so forth. Now, are they being taken care of? Are they being
Mhm.
given the things we have promised to give them? Or if is there somebody who's listening to them, right?
Mhm.
But I have seen that most of the time it has happened because we have ensured one thing, that my people, whether he is deployed over here in one of the metros, big cities, tier A, B, C, or he is deployed in the remotest of the locations, his
Mhm.
voice would reach me if it is not answered. Let's say I am an employee working in a very, let's say, remote location in somewhere in UP, maybe, or maybe in
Mhm.
Bihar somewhere, or down south somewhere. I'm trying to find out why my 100 rupees have been deducted from my salary, right? In the pressure environment, most of the time it would be like, for me, maybe 100 rupees is like, यार ये 100 रुपए के लिए इतना हंगामा कर रहा है. But for
Mhm.
that boy who's not, like, whose earnings are limited, 100 rupees is some, like
A
maybe
very
a percentage
big
of his,
yeah.
yeah. And the problem is not that कि 100 रुपए कट गए, but मुझे पता तो हो, why is my 100 रुपए, where has my 100 रुपए gone? So if so there is a process,
Totally.
they reach out, there is a help desk, they put their complaint over there or they query over there. They can write in any way, English में लिख दो, हिंदी में लिख दो, अपनी local language लिख दो,
Mhm.
whatever, that gets converted. And there is, thankfully, technology is in a very better shape now. So
Yeah.
somebody has to answer them, somebody has to resolve that problem in attack, in a given span of time. Let's say 24 hours they have to respond. Not responding, it gets auto escalated. It is not closed in like whatever time frame is there. It gets auto escalated
Okay.
in 3 working days. If it doesn't get solved, resolved, or not being answered, or nothing has happened, it
Mhm.
hits my inbox.
Okay.
And the thing is that my biggest annoyance is that if I get an email like that, that somebody is trying to reach and trying to solve his or her problem, and that is going unheard, unresolved,
Mhm.
resolution में कभी time भी लग सकता है, but at least
हाँ.
there has to be somebody giving him the, like, dilasa type thing.
हाँ.
Wait, we are doing this, इसमें
Something
इतना
will
time
happen.
लगेगा, इसमें
Yeah.
ऐसा है, इसमें ऐसा है. I that is my zero tolerance role. Like वहां पर the zone is absolute zero tolerance. I would leave no stone unturned to make sure that that thing gets resolved on number one priority, and this doesn't get repeated. That's
Okay.
why we have the lowest attrition rate, right?
Okay.
The people who work with us, generally speaking, कई बार आपने भी सुना होगा चारू के, यार ये जो ग्रे कॉलर ब्लू कॉलर वाले होते हैं, या कोई भी एम्प्लॉय होता है for that matter, they just leave for 500,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees or
Mhm.
3,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Back
Totally.
in one of my back in one of our the companies I worked for earlier, there was a nationwide survey. Actually, it was a global survey, honestly speaking, but I
Mhm.
was involved in the Indian thing. So the survey was done. Why do people leave their jobs? Why do these people leave their jobs? I mean, they are getting fully compliant है company, पैसे भी time पे देती है, client से
Mhm.
भी कोई problem नहीं है. Why do they leave us and go to a local service provider? Why not a brand like this? So generally people say वो पैसे के लिए भाग जाते हैं. All the people who they used to report to, they will say, सर उसको वहां पर 1,000 रुपीज एक्स्ट्रा मिल गए थे, उसको 500 एक्स्ट्रा मिल गया, वो चला गया, ब्लू कॉलर एम्प्लॉय था, वो चला गया. Money in the top
Mhm.
10 reasons why people leave job, money was at
हाँ.
number 4, if I'm not mistaken, not on top.
Okay.
Money
Okay.
was at number 4.
Okay.
And
So,
I'm talking about a global level survey. I'm not talking about a regional survey, or in that zone what happens. It's a global level survey. You know
okay.
what was the first the top reason over there?
I
I will translate it in the language I heard from them, and I was also doing some kind of survey over there. अरे सर कोई सुनता तो है नहीं यहाँ पर.
hmm.
Now I am giving, I as one of the founders over here, my job is to give my employee, let's say I'm saying I'm giving you this, let's say health insurance I'm giving you, or I'm giving you a personal accident insurance. I am giving you for इतना रुपया का, मैं आपको मेरे में है, मैं इतना रुपया दे रहा हूँ, अगर आप बोलते हो तो हम आपको 100 रुपया और ले लेंगे आपके पास से, एंड आई विल एड योर फैमिली मेंबर्स आल्सो एज एन एग्जांपल. We'll take 100 more bucks. We'll add your family members, or maybe your parents, or maybe we'll add this thing also in the coverage, or so on and so forth. Now, this is what I think I have done. As it goes down, the people say, अरे सर कर दो, सबके लिए अच्छा रहेगा. मे बी अच्छा रहेगा, बट उसको बता दोगे अगर एक बार ऐसा ऐसा करें, दो चीजें होंगी. एक, उसको पता है कि मेरा 100 रुपया कटने वाला है. नंबर टू, he would be happy that company is thinking about them. But it is easier to say all these things in a proper office, air conditioned room, and sitting over here and telling it. It is difficult, but it is not that difficult that you cannot do it, right? So अब उसको पता ही नहीं है, उसके बेनिफिट के लिए 100 रुपया कटा है, बट वो जॉब छोड़ गया कि यार ये पैसे काट देते हैं. दे डोंट इवन टेल अस कि हमारे पैसे क्यों कटे, right? So we are very, very particular, Charu, about I would say, and this is one of the most important things for a people's business, or a people's management, even a people's manager. It's a very important trait for for all of us, that you have to understand that if you would have been in that place, how would you have felt?
Right, totally.
If you earn 1 lakh rupees a month and somebody deducts 10,000 rupees from there, 10%, na? So अगर 10,000 वाले का 1,000 कट गया, 10% salary कट गई, you would also be equally annoyed if your 1,000 or 10,000 goes away from your salary, right?
Obviously.
So
Yeah.
people don't pay attention to these things. We always believe that we will solve the bigger problems. Where we come in, we proudly say, no, 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 we will solve the basic problems first. If the base foundation is all okay, the bigger problems, number one, will not happen. And if it happens, you can fully focus on them because your basics are fixed. बड़ी प्रॉब्लम, छोटी छोटी प्रॉब्लम जब बड़ी बनती है, then उसको सॉल्व करने में बहुत टाइम लगता है.
नहीं, totally.
If you are able to, if you are able to fix it at the grassroots level, trust me, you will be in a much comfortable zone.
Yeah. And this is also one of the reasons जो attrition rate को कम करता है, क्योंकि at the end वो escalate होता रहता है.
True.
वो चीज escalate होता रहेगा, तो आगे जो obviously एक employee frustrated है starting से, वो at the end वहां पर और frustration होगा, तो last यही रहता है कि he would leave the company. Nothing else.
True. Absolutely. That's what happens. That's how it works.
Totally. Means you're doing a good work. Means सब कुछ from the grassroots you're solving it. I guess this is something that most of the founders आज के time पे जो founders है, startup owners है, they should follow this as well. To hearing means
I agree, and I would not say that I am the only one who's doing it.
Yeah,
this awareness has come. This awareness has come in the market, that एक जमाना था, Charu, when the job seekers were at the receiving end and the people who were the employees were at the givers end. The world has changed. Trust me, the world has changed. As an example, the gig economy, as we call them, or the people who are working in the delivery segment, let's say, you think the boys who are coming maybe at your place also, and all the places they come for the delivery thing, Amazon, say, or maybe any other company they work for, you think they have dearth of job? No, they don't. They will resign today and they will get a job today.
Yeah.
Because there is such a huge demand for these kind of people in the market. Yeah. So वो ज़माना नहीं है where you can think that I am the boss and that person who जो मेरा employee है, that he is at the receiving. No, he is not at the receiving end. He has more job offers than I can think that I can get in the market.
Yeah, totally. At the end पहले ये डर था, mostly बहुत employees का डर रहता था कि if ये वाली गई तो आगे क्या? But
क्या होगा? Now they don't have that.
There
is enough bandwidth and job availability in the market for these, especially for these blue and gray collar.
Yeah, especially for the blue and gray collars. And I really means how this how this thing came into your mind. Was it because of a mentor or something? Means how the strategy developed, that starting say grassroots.
So as I said, when we were working with the corporate, so the mentor I'm talking about, Mr. Amit Dhawan. So both of us used to work for the same company. He was the managing director, and I joined in the sales team, but I became the regional head for after a while. So we worked in the same company, right? But he was the head of the business in India. So what happened was that we were daily seeing this happening in the market. And another thing is that कि आप किसी चीज को जब वो बहुत बड़ी हो जाएगी, so let's take a basic example. I try to explain things with basic examples. अगर किसी को God forbid कोई बीमारी है, राइट. सो आप उसको सही टाइम पे
हम्म
उसका इलाज नहीं करेंगे तो वो बड़ी हो जाती है और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाती है,
हम्म
डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है उसको ठीक
बिल्कुल,
करना, राइट. सो अगर हमने जब सोचा हम शुरू करने जा रहे हैं तो वी वर वेरी क्लियर दैट वी विल not make this mistake since day one, come what may. We will make sure the full focus would always be on this, that these basic grassroots level problems, we will not let them happen. Because as we will grow, एक बार जब बड़े हो जाएंगे, पीछे आकर के ठीक करना would be a bigger challenge than fixing it right now, right? It is very tempting to lose the track and go and use the shortcut. Very, very tempting. I'm telling you, under like
okay.
pressurized environments and under like cut to cut timelines में ना बहुत
हाँ
बहुत tempting होता है. Let's go this way. अरे अभी कर लेते हैं, बाद में देखेंगे. We have never done that, thankfully, and I'm very proud of that. That neither us nor my team members, we don't try to take shortcuts. It will take some time. The client, if I have to go and explain that to the client, I will go and explain to the client, and no sensible person would say, नहीं नहीं आप गलत काम कर लो, हम बाद में देख लेंगे. Why would he say that? If it is
yeah
reasonable, if you are able to explain it with proper logics and reasons, I don't think somebody's like doesn't have, nobody is like that, that I don't have brains, I would not listen, I just want this to be done like this. No, it doesn't work like that.
yeah totally. So what is the driving force that makes you go on as an entrepreneur? Means कभी ऐसा सोचे कि हाँ चलो अब ब्रेक ले लेते हैं, हो गया.
देखो, I would not say that these thoughts don't come to my mind, right?
हम्म
They are, I mean, well, it is बहुत हो गया अब, now let's
हाँ
like कब तक ये करता रहूंगा and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of things which keeps you going, right? So when the first thing, of course, why anybody, I can be philosophical over here and use big words and say मैं इसके लिए करता हूँ, उसके लिए करता हूँ. Honestly speaking, the first thing I do this for is for my family, right? So of course, when I see them that I'm able to do the things which they were, which I would like them to have, I'm able to provide for all those things. I don't say I can bring moons and stars, but I can give them what they want actually, right? So this keeps me going. Point number one. Number two, the thing for which I left my earlier, like jobs and in other industries and so on and so forth. This people, like in and around people. As I said, that I'm a people's guy. In and around me, I find people who are working for us. Like when I see them smiling while working, this feeling I cannot express in words, right? So as an example, what happens is that every company gives you medical aid, right? The health benefit.
yeah
दे दिया हमने health benefit as an employer. Now God forbid there is a requirement and you go to the hospital. At times you get stuck over there, right? At times you get stuck over there. The claim is not getting processed, or you are not getting the benefits which were promised. And like due to some confusion, or maybe at times there are certain companies who try to not give the claim so that the claim ratio doesn't go high, and so on and so forth. I don't give a damn why my claim would not be processed. If there is a proper team sitting in my office, if at all somebody is, like God forbid, need of a medical emergency, I don't care what it takes. They have to make sure that he or she doesn't have any kind of, they have to focus on the main thing. Somebody in the family or they themselves are not well or unwell, or hospital is not a party place. People are not going over there to get, like to enjoy the time. They're there in a case of exigency, emergency. They should not be worried about कि ये पैसा कहाँ से आएगा, ये इंश्योरेंस क्लेम मेरा है, तब इंश्योरेंस नहीं हो पा रहा. We pay very, very, like बहुत ज्यादा डिटेल में उस पर ध्यान देते हैं कि इस तरह की सिचुएशन में where they need us the most, we cannot leave the hand. If that means that I have to call the super boss of that insurance company and tell them, mate, don't do this, I want this to be resolved. If I have to make a call, I will make that. Well, I've done that before. So this is all these things, like if I say iske liye chalta hu, uske liye chalta hu, no, there are collective, like there are a lot of things which happens in life, and which when I look at them, I feel very proud that okay, maybe I'm not doing the things which I could have done, or I I would want to do, but I'm very happy with what I'm doing. And this keeps, if you're happy with what you're doing, trust me, this is the biggest motivator, that
biggest
okay,
motivation,
yeah, it's good, let's keep going on this.
Nice, nice. So, ऐसे ही जैसे as you are an entrepreneur means ऐसे ही if there is someone who is aspiring to become an entrepreneur जिसको इस particular मतलब आगे चल के who is switching their jobs and moving on towards the cycle of being a founder of a startup, तो उनको कौन से what is the starting step या कुछ qualities that they need to have in them कि उस टाइम पे इतना तो होना,
देखो,
यही qualities चाहिए.
I come from a background, Charu, where I have learned this I have, because the people who I consider my mentors, right?
Hmm.
So whether my partner or my dad or the people in and around me, my mother or anybody I think of, I have always learned one thing: Rome was not built in a day, right?
Hmm.
There will be ups, there will be downs. You
Hmm.
have to patience and perseverance is the key,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The problem with I see, I am also engaged and I'm very associated with most of very like large amount of colleges across India. So I
Hmm.
go and keep on meeting. I take sessions. I like meet these young kids and young brains, and I have seen people when they were students and when they have come to the corporate world. You know, अच्छी अच्छी बड़ी बड़ी बातें करना is one thing, but
Yeah.
living those talks is a different thing altogether,
Hmm.
right?
Totally.
मैं आज मैं बोलता हूँ मैं ऐसा, बट जब वो कल मेरे ऊपर करने पे आती है, I kind of like forget what I have said myself or what I said that I believe
Yeah.
in, right? So patience is one of the patience and perseverance. These two things go hand in hand. Honestly speaking, you have
Hmm.
to keep going, and there is always a KFC is a classic example. There is no age. There is no like there is no time कि अभी करना था
Hmm.
नहीं किया
Hmm.
ट्रेन छूट गई. If you are confident about, so you as the founder, you have to be confident about what you're going to do, right? Half-heartedly, you cannot do something which of this
Yeah.
sort, right? You have to have that faith. Yeah,
Hmm.
it might take some time. Somebody might have got this in 6 months. You might take 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years.
Hmm.
I don't know what time it would
Hmm.
take with
Hmm.
you. Maybe 6 months bigger, you would take in a year or so. But if you are at it, you will get there.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So I guess we would be ending a session, but at the last, I would like to ask you, what is the most valuable lesson that you have learned being the founder of Alto?
See, the most valuable lesson, I'm not sure if that I can say that this has been the most valuable or that has
Hmm.
been most valuable. The thing is that I always believe that lessons are life is the best teacher,
Hmm.
right? So it keeps on teaching you. It
Yeah.
keeps on it and as a student of life,
Hmm.
you always have to keep understanding that what has been taught to you. You
Okay.
made a mistake, you learn from there. I will try to put it in one line that there is no fun in doing the same mistake again and again. You
Nice.
will commit mistakes, but try and
Yeah.
do the new ones every time,
Yeah.
right? Don't try to repeat it. Then I know if I walk on one feet, then
Hmm.
I would not be able to go distances, right?
Hmm.
So और मुझे जाना है दूर, तो मैं एक टांग पे कूदता रहूं हर दिन, तो मैं नहीं पहुंचूंगा जहां मुझे पहुंचना है ना. So let's try something else. Maybe try your hand next time. Maybe your hand would be, you can go upside down and then you can travel, but make different mistakes, right?
Okay.
If you have to make mistakes, and everybody, all of us are human beings, we're not angels, right? So we will be making mistakes. We're bound to
Hmm.
make mistakes.
Hmm.
All I can say is that make new ones. Learned lessons learned are so many that I can, like this session will keep on going. Like as I
Hmm.
said,
Yeah.
life is always teaching me a lesson, and everybody teaches. The thing is, if you're observing that or not.
Hmm. Okay.
So that's I think what I believe. This is the lesson. The biggest lesson, as I said, probably is that you keep on getting lessons every day in
Yeah,
life.
totally. Wonderful. So, as I mean, after talking to you, so there was a poem, there was a, I don't remember if it was a chapter or a poem that we had in our previous means in our schooling days. It was like the road not taken. So it was about
Yeah, yeah.
road that was somebody means आपको ऐस जरूर हमेशा दो रास्ते निकलते हैं, एक
Hmm.
जहां पर लोग जा रहे हैं, एक जहां लोग कम जाते हैं, या that looks very much clean,
Not
neat and clean.
जिस पे कभी कोई, I mean, the less traveled routes, as you
The
call
less
them. Yeah,
traveled मेजरली
yeah,
ऐसा
yeah,
रहता है. तो
yeah.
मेजरली अगर आज के लोग जैसे होते हैं कि they always go towards that road जहां पर ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ यहाँ पर the road that is more traveled makes मतलब ऐसा लगता है बहुत easy है to
Oh
go
yeah.
there. And
See,
as per
I,
what we,
I, I don't. No, no. I'm sorry. You please complete that question.
yeah, surely, surely. So
So
that is means please go on.
keep going. No, no, keep going. I said you continue. You finish the question.
Yeah. So the road less traveled means वहां पर जाके ऐसा लगता है कि if there might be difficulties, so many of us stop there. तो लोग risk लेने से घबराते हैं. So that is the reason they walk onto the road जो बहुत ज्यादा traveled होता है.
देखो, maybe I have a different view on this.
Yeah,
People don't
totally.
understand I think people don't understand what is the meaning of road more traveled and road less traveled, right?
Let's wrap. Hmm.
There is no need to reinvent the wheel, right?
Hmm.
एक गोल पता है, गोल पहिया बना है, you don't have to try कि हम
Hmm.
इसमें rectangular टायर लगा के
Hmm.
देखते हैं गाड़ी
Hmm.
कैसे चलती है, you'll get some bumps and you'll put a
Hmm.
put. No, that is not the point, right?
Hmm.
You have to do new things, try to do the things. So I know I'm standing over and I have to achieve that place.
Hmm.
You try and explore the new things, you try and explore and make sure that the new things you're trying to do, please keep one thing in mind very clear.
Hmm.
What problem are you going to solve?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
if I come down by lift or if I come down by stairs, I
Hmm.
will reach the ground floor. If I have to go
Yeah.
from the
Totally.
16th floor to the 11th to the ground floor, I will reach there slowly
Hmm.
and gradually if I even by go by stairs. But what is more important at that point of time?
Hmm.
My time is more important. Something is waiting, a lift is not coming. Should I rush towards the ground
Hmm.
floor using the stairs? Or I am in no rush. I will go by the lift because I
Hmm.
have to walk a distance from there. I would
Hmm.
not exhaust
Yeah.
myself, right?
Yeah.
So we just like आजकल क्या होता है? I've seen a lot of people that what they do is that ये सुना है and this looks very fancy.
Fancy. Yeah.
Road less traveled.
Hmm.
I will do things which nobody has done before. Yes, of course you can do it. I'm not saying that नई चीजें करो ही मत. But
Hmm.
जो भी नया करने जा रहे हो, please answer this question to yourself. नया कर देंगे, but what am I going to solve?
Hmm.
Will this, let's say, in the corporate and the startup world, as you were mentioning, I'm going to build this product.
Hmm.
ये market में है ही नहीं. Okay, fine. What problem is that going to solve? Question number one. Now, this is the problem it is going to solve. Is that problem still unsolved in the market?
Hmm.
Maybe yes, maybe no, whatever is the answer.
Hmm.
Third question would, of course, come to yourself. Okay, market में नया है, problem solve करेगा, but क्या market इस problem को solve करने के लिए जो price, जो cost आप लगाने जा रहे हो, is the market or the people, your end customers, going to pay
Hmm.
for that price,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Is that thing really worth it?
Hmm.
I doubt, because if you are able to answer these three questions to yourself, it answers that thing with the
Yeah.
question. I think it answers the questions you were looking at. That this is how I look at it. I think that this way of looking at things I would not say this is the what we call as the 100% achuk nishana nahi hai ye. But yeah, this has never proved wrong for me. To me, till date, it has not done
Okay.
that.
Okay. Totally. So I believe it was nice talking to you and
Same here, Charu. It was a
yeah,
pleasure. It was a pleasure.
yeah, I had really insightful words from your end, and I believe जो भी हमारे viewers होंगे, they might be also having the same insights, that means more insights and everything they might be looking on if they want to start a new thing, or even if they are in their particular journey and looking forward what they can improve in themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. Yeah.
All
So
right, Charu. Pleasure
yeah.
speaking with you. Thank you very much for having me here. It was very nice talking to
Thank
you.
you, Amir, for giving us your
Take
time.
good care. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.